We're on the air. I can't believe it. It's amazing. Well, there's a reason why I'm saying all this. Welcome to Flat Earth and Other Hot Potatoes, episode 137. It's the secret show. Insert sound effect of cheering crowd here.
If I had one, I'd do it for you.
Yeah. Pretty good,
and
right?
It's not a mistake. This is not Wednesday. This is Thursday, special Thursday edition.
Yes, I will explain why I'm saying I can't believe we're on the air, why we've got a special Thursday edition in a moment. Mark is coming to us from Victoria, Canada. We'll talk about that too. I'm Patricia Steere. I'm in Houston, Texas, in the Galleria area, not CGI. And I'm in a temporary furnished corporate apartment, which is an apartment you can rent for a very short period of time. It's got everything you need in it. And my new house is getting sorted out right now. My CGI cats are at the ready, so let's do this thing. Topics include the infamous Is Earth Actually Flat video by Vsauce. Rumor has it it's been knocked down a peg in YouTube's rankings. Buzz Aldrin just keeps getting weirder. Rooster Magazine botched an article on the flat Earth, but some fellow flat earthers at least got interviewed. RT, Russian TV, put out the first ever panoramic view of Earth from space from the fake ISS. And if you've got about, $26,000, you need to go to GoDaddy, and there's a hot website domain waiting for you. All that, your emails, and other random things. Let the show begin. So first, let's talk about why we are doing a show on Thursday. Well, for those who are watching this later, you'll be like, well, I'm watching this on a Tuesday. Well,
it's Sunday afternoon. What's she talking about?
And I'm not even drunk. Yes, you are.
I fall asleep for 3 days. What happened?
Well, Google Hangouts, as of the last day of November 2016, had some crazy problem which only affected some YouTube content providers. Now, we could get conspiratorial and say they were all conspiracy channels, but that's only because we run in the conspiracy channel circle. Maybe there were people who do makeup tutorials who were affected by not being able to do live Google Hangouts. I don't know, but I heard some people that we know had issues. I know Nathan Oakley did. Bob Nodell of Globebusters stepped in to try to help, and his wasn't working that well. I kind of think Rob Skiba had an issue. That might be just a rumor. Anyway, we don't know what it is. I reported it. A number of people reported it. And I was unable to do our show yesterday, which is the usual Wednesday Secret Hangout day. Excuse me, not Secret Hangout, Secret Show. What is this thing we're doing? The Secret Show.
Yeah, and I was a witness. You did try very, very hard. You were scrambling every which way you could.
Just about like an hour, but it kept saying this won't work, the Hangout won't work. And then finally we gave up and tabled it. And then I tried many times throughout the night doing test hangouts where there would be people live in chat, like all of a sudden showing up like, you have a show at 3 a.m.? I'm like, no, this is just a test. And it finally worked. And I alerted Nathan. He tested his. He even made a video about it, and his worked. So we're back in the game of being able to do Google Hangouts. And it's not, as many thought, a conspiracy to shut down Flat Earth Truth.
Yeah. I mean, it could have been just an agency nerd that was messing with you.
I think it was probably just crossed wires, I think.
Could be.
The chewing gum that was holding together the wires that were connected to my channel and a few other people's channels just came unstuck.
You know, it's funny because I was thinking about that because I've been doing the computer career thing for a long time. You know, I've been involved in tech for a long time. And we still accept the weird things that happen in computers just as what they are. They're weird. You know, part magic, part karma, part unknown. You just don't know. It's like, which is why the line from the IT Crowd, the television show out in Great Britain, it's like, have you tried turning it off and turning it back on again? It still works today. Yes. I had a problem with Skype the other day, and literally I could not figure it. I'm just going to freaking reboot, and it worked. There's no explanation for it.
You know, when you have a problem with life, just reboot.
Yeah.
From me to you.
There you go.
Your background, different. You are not on Whidbey Island outside of Seattle. You are in a whole different country.
I am in a whole different country, which is only 50 miles away. Exactly. In fact, it takes longer. You could fly. My brother-in-law could have flown me here in 20 minutes, but in his little plane. But it takes so much to go through airport customs. You know, because you have to land. Most people don't know if you land a private plane that you have to park in like a little white box then they have to come out to you and then search. You know, you don't. It's not like here where you get off a ferry and you pull in a thing. It's like, do you have any firearms? You get any mace? You get any farm animals? Stuff like that. It's completely different. Anyway, I came up here on a ferry boat from the north end of Whidbey Island, which is, well, it's actually a tiny island above that, but it's called Anacortes, the town. Do you know how many cars got off with me when I landed here?
Hi,
5.
33. No.
5 cars.
5.
Yeah, and I was interesting because the last time I left here to go down to the island, they said, "Oh yeah, just a quick reminder, we're shutting this thing down in January for the winter." I go, "What?" I go, it's a Washington State ferry run. They go, "Yeah, there's not enough people to." I didn't get it, and they actually shut it down from the beginning of January all the way through the beginning of April. And I didn't understand until I came up here this last time, which was, you know, you're in a ferry boat, a double decker holds, you know, a couple hundred cars. There's 5 cars in the whole boat. I mean, the overhead for this thing is, you know, you're only paying what, $50 to come up here. Doesn't even begin to cover it here. But yes, for the background behind me, this is Melody's spare bedroom, and that's a flat Earth poster and Stanley Kubrick thing on the left, and another.
So she's done the decor for your show, so you don't have your usual banner.
I was going to take the banner up. That's okay.
I'm hearing some echo.
Are you hearing some echo? Oh, should I turn down my thing?
I don't know what it caused by.
How about now? Better?
Something annoying.
Better or worse?
And you're breaking up and cutting out. Hey, but it could be me. I don't know. We'll go ahead as if things are okay.
If worse comes to worse, I can throw a pair of headphones on.
Yeah, that would be cool, but not yet. We'll wing it. Well, okay. And then when we're done with the show, it will have been Wong.
Are you here? Nice. The Wong. Really, we're going to start up the Wong thing again?
Yes, it's my own word, Wong. It's a past tense to wing something. I know it's not a real word.
We are not being racist in any way, shape, or form by saying Wong.
Wait, why would that be Wong? Oh, I didn't even think that could be racist.
Yeah,
no, my own word, past tense of wing.
Yeah.
Trying to make it happen. It's not working a year later.
Kind of like that fat joke.
Now from racism to fat jokes, great.
Well, no, because you can combine both if you really want to. And you know me, I don't try to offend people, but it's an old joke. It's like that guy's got more chins than a Chinese phone book. Sorry.
2 thumbs down.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was only 1 thumb.
So what are we segueing into first? What's the hot topic?
First, I want to talk about something that my friend Rachel McGowan, who lives in Seattle, mentioned to me and showed me a video about. Now, Rachel's one of the people, Seattle connection I have. I'm friends with her on Facebook. I've also interviewed her. She knows lots about vaccines. Just recently had a new baby. And during the time I was toying with the idea of moving to Boulder, Colorado, San Francisco, California, or Seattle, as you well know, Rachel was sending me leads on different places to rent. Anyway, so Rachel messaged me today and she said she was watching TV and she's got some daughters and she saw this commercial for Gap, the Gap clothing store in America. It's also in the UK, probably other places too, for ballet flats, women's shoes, flat shoes. And she was watching this commercial where there were people dancing. And at the very end, a woman spins around, and as she spins around, her ballet flats change colors from like green to red, different colors to show all the beautiful shoes that are available at the Gap. But then it says, the earth is flat. Right.
Really?
Ballet flats is what they mean. Yet, why would they put that in there?
Interesting.
Very interesting. So be on the lookout if you watch TV for this commercial.
I do think a lot of writers, because writers are heavy into any media. They try to absorb whatever they can that's out there and looking for any sort of new ideas. And I think writers have been picking up on this ever since we started, which they're slowly putting it in, depending on how much they believe in it. They're putting it into television shows and movies, and I think we're finding it more and more. Of course, a lot of the predictive programming was there long, years before, we started doing our thing.
And some writers who aren't savvy to the fact that the earth is flat know it's a trend because of Obama mentioning it and Neil deGrasse Tyson dropping the mic. And so they throw it in there like a little Easter egg, so to speak, to make people laugh and say, hey, they're
mentioning
that stupid flat earth thing, but it helps us regardless.
Will Trump carry the torch along those lines? Will they start building it into his speeches? Because remember, he's still not going to write his own speeches. Yeah, he'll ad lib a bit, but I still think he's the White House will be writing his material.
Of course.
If Trump starts picking up on it, well, then there's something else going on.
Interesting. That will be interesting.
That's of course assuming that he's allowed to carry the baton. Still January 20th is the inauguration. If anyone wants to know.
And as you would say, if it happens.
Yeah, if it happens, if he can make it to the inauguration.
Right.
I don't know, maybe.
DITRH, deep inside the rabbit hole, David sent me this. Russian cargo spaceship falls to Earth after contact was lost as it headed toward the International Space Station. This in today from the Daily Mail. Comes to us from Moscow. They say that the Russia Space Agency lost contact with an unmanned cargo after blast off, and it lost communication with the spacecraft only 383 seconds into the flight. There's a 3 and a 3 with the 8 in between. For those of you who are into the numbers thing, supposedly there have been reports of an explosion over the skies in Russia, and they say it could have come down somewhere in the Pacific Ocean. So more space programming going on really there. Unmanned explosion somewhere in the middle of nowhere that no one can really, confirm or deny.
Yeah.
So, but, the sky is falling.
Yeah.
So
are they ever going to list the contents exactly? What was in there?
I think there was a gorilla suit, the second one, because they wore the first one out. And
a couple more guitars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some stuff like that. Very important things that taxpayers pay for to be, I don't know what they do with them. Burn them? What do they really do with this junk? Put them on the set.
When they're done with them? I don't know. I mean.
Garage sale. Garage sale.
There you go.
Right.
Yeah. Nice.
Let's see what else is going on. Well, you were part of a big article that came out by the Rooster magazine, as was Carly Sunshine and another flat earther.
Yeah. It was interesting because I was one of the last people they contacted. They were like working their way around the flat earth community, and because I asked them, I got on a Skype conversation with the guy for about an hour. And I had to stop him after a while because we were like 5-10 minutes in. I was going, dude, how did you find me exactly? Because it was obvious he did not know that much about flat earth. I mean, he knew some, but not that much. And I go, he couldn't even pronounce Eric Dubay's name right.
Did he say Dubai?
No,
I've heard that.
No. I mean, he screwed up the whole thing, but it wasn't Dubai. He called it, I don't even know what exactly he said, but I knew what he was talking about. But I had to ask him, like, why, how did you get a hold of me? And it was the degrees of separation, which of course I have to correct because I think the last time I talked to you, I was talking about 7 degrees of separation. It's actually 6 degrees. It's 6. It's 6. Otherwise known as 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. You guys can look that up. And what that means, the reason why it's called 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon is that you can take any actor in Hollywood and within 6 jumps, you can get to Kevin Bacon. Meaning they worked with an actor that eventually worked with Kevin Bacon. But and it's just an example, in Hollywood, the thing though, it applies with everybody. And there was a study done, at least 10 years ago, I think now, using computer algorithms that actually proved that everybody is pretty much 6 degrees away from everybody, which is very, very interesting. Anyway, how did I get to that?
Well, you know what? I read somewhere on some video, somebody posting, well, I believe that Patricia Steere and Mark Sargent are sister and brother, and they're in on this thing together. I'm like, are you kidding me? But 6 degrees of separation, or 7 to please you. I still don't see. I don't see the resemblance.
No, I honestly thought it was. I don't know why I thought it was 7. It was probably that Mandela effect. I'm not sure.
Yes.
Or the Mandela effect, or
the other one that you can say, but I won't.
What? All right, fine. I won't say it. So anyway, he was saying, oh yeah, I heard from there was a posting on Facebook, and he got to somebody else that finally got to Carly Sunshine. And then he was talking to her for a while, and she referenced me, and there was another guy that was kind of tied to it. I can't remember his name off. It's in the article. And then because he was using everybody's real names, so he was like, you know, he was using Carly's real name, and but by the time it got to me, I just steamrolled him with as much information as I could, and he was getting more and more agitated because he was a big science believer.
The other guy, Ryan Beatty, I think that's how you pronounce his last name. It could be Beatty.
Beatty or Beatty.
He delivers
Warren Beatty, Ned Beatty.
More celebrities that we are potentially related to.
Through the 6 degrees, yes.
Yeah.
But it was an interesting talk. I didn't record it or anything. He was just taking notes and typing as fast as he could, and I sent him links.
You should have recorded it, because the article itself, when I read it, your part, he made it seem like you're like some money grubbing guy.
Oh, I know. And bucks. He was looking for sensationalism. So he said, "Isn't there hate that comes at you?" I go, "Not really. No." I go, 99% of my phone calls and emails are absolutely fine. I go, "Yeah, you get the occasional drunk guy that'll call me at the middle of the night and, yeah, flat earth sucks." Click, dial tone. But at the same time, so he wrote that as like, "Oh yeah, I get hate all the time." He didn't even mention the Slim Shady Shade 45 interview, even though I gave it to him. I go, "Listen to that 15 minutes. I go, "There's the hate if you want it." And then with the money thing, he goes, is this what you do now? I go, "Yeah, it's what I do." He goes, I go, "There's some money coming in," but I go, "Not a ton." And he turned it into, "Oh yeah, money's just falling out of the sky." It's like, come on, man. But at the same time, if I'll use it as a positive. That motivates people to join.
Yeah, true.
Sure, go ahead. Oh yeah, there's money everywhere. No.
Yeah, it's falling from the sky. In fact, this kind of CGI I've got here takes the big money. Let me tell you. In the Rooster article, though, the guy who wrote it said that he contacted a half dozen flat earthers, but he only mentioned 3.
He didn't. He told me that he had contacted Santos Bonacci.
Well, why isn't Santos quoted?
I don't know. I do not know. Maybe it didn't go well. And I thought, and I had spoken with Carly, or we were chatting back and forth, and we were convinced after talking to him it was going to be a hit piece.
Mm-hmm. It sort of was, a little.
Well, it wasn't. It wasn't. I mean, he didn't. I mean, coming from the Rooster, but I thought that was more intriguing than anything else, which was, remember in the first 15 seconds of Flat Earth Clues where I said that there are people out there that will tell you straight to your face that everybody in Congress are reptilians, but you mention Flat Earth and they'll say, "Get the hell out of this room," right? Mm-hmm. That's what kind of was talking about this Rooster. I mean, if you go to the rooster.com, this is not, these are fringe stories. I mean, really some far out stuff. And he still wasn't buying it.
They've done flat earth things before. I think it was last March. They did a story on flat earth. And it's never positive at all.
The Rooster actually covered this last month?
No, not this. Flat Earth, yes. I think they were talking about it, an amount of money and a reward given for somebody to prove the Earth is flat. And it might have been last March. So I'll have to go relook that up. My memory may be failing me. Yeah, in the article, it said something like he polled, I don't know, a half dozen flat earthers and was wondering if they were quote unquote trolls.
Yeah,
flat earthers aren't trolls.
He asked me that, and I can't speak for the other people, but he asked me those 2 very specific questions. One, he asked me if I was trolling, if I was pretending to be in flat earth just to get a rise out of people. I said no, and then he asked me something that no one else has ever asked me. He goes, "So, have you ever been diagnosed with like a mental condition?"
Oh my God.
I'm going, "What? No. I go, "Do you think I couldn't have gotten this far?" And I'm throwing stats at him constantly. It's like, dude, I've done 400 videos. I've been interviewed a whole bunch of times. I got podcasts. I got apps. I got a book. I get, all this stuff. I go, "Do you really think a mentally deranged person is going to be able to stumble back assward into that?" The closest thing to that, David Hasselhoff, yes, he could fall backwards into money. But no, in my case,
maybe, but not diagnosed.
Exactly. Acquitted. I stole that from the Addams Family when it says, "Oh, you lady killer," and he goes, "Acquitted."
I like the Addams Family, the original, and the movie as well. Yeah.
Not bad.
I liked the Munsters as well. The wife character in both I liked, because they both walked very gracefully and wore long gowns and were funny and glamorous.
Exactly. The glamorous vampire queen.
or whatever they were.
Yeah. But anyway, but the Rooster article is good. Unfortunately, it's not going to really show up in Google searches. You're going to have to look for the Rooster because he put in the title Flat Earthers. And Flat Earthers does not show up in Flat Earth or Earth is Flat searches. And so I wrote him because I was going, why can't I find this freaking thing? Because normally if you go into Google and type in, Flat Earth or Earth is Flat and click on news, it will show up. And I don't care how small the publication is. And it didn't show up. So I wrote him and I go, dude, you're going to have to change it. And he actually wrote me the alternate title for the headline. And he goes, absolutely, I'll send it in. And he goes, thanks very much. Nothing.
Yeah.
Hasn't been changed. So I don't know if the editor didn't change it or he, realized that he
didn't care. He was done with the article. He went off to get a cup of coffee and go home and watch some, I don't know, TV. Yeah. And
interestingly enough, when we were Skyping, do you know where he was when I was Skyping him?
A coffee house.
Boulder, Colorado.
Oh, wow.
That's why he contacted me. That's what put him when he was going through the flat earthers. He goes, oh, this guy's obvious. He didn't know I was in Boulder. He thought I was in Colorado. So he goes, you here? I go, dude, I just left Boulder, relatively recently. And he goes, oh, and we were talking about this and that. And I can guarantee you I had been there longer than he has. But yeah, so their offices, or at least his office, was down in Boulder.
That's interesting. Now, the article I looked really quickly online, the Rooster article that came out, it was March of 2016, and it was called The Flat Earth Society is offering $5,000 to anyone who can prove the Earth is round. And this is by a female named Elizabeth Cohn. And this goes on to say that the Casper Planetarium's Flat Earth Society, not the Flat Earth Society, is doing a new contest that challenges people to prove that the Earth is flat, and you'll win $5,000 for your efforts. So I don't know how this ever worked.
I never even heard of that article.
Their proof of round is like NASA photos, astronauts, things like that. So yeah. Another article that didn't make it really to mainstream. You just have to look up Rooster. But anyway, the Rooster article that you appeared in Carly Sunshine and the rest, is linked in the description box of this here video.
Yeah. So cool. I check it out. I mean, it's one article. It's not going to make or break anything, but it's more exposure. So great.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But now we all know money grubbing. That's what you're all about, Mark.
Yeah, money grubbing. Yeah, do not believe. Yeah. He took some liberties, but I wasn't going to try to correct him. And after the article, it's like, look, he's not going to change it anyway. So
the thing is that you didn't monetize your channel till a long way into the game.
I was 15 months in before I even turned on monetization to the channel.
And you allowed other people to take your videos from you without
and they
monetize them.
They still are. I mean, the two really, really big ones, one of them broke 2 million hits recently, was They Are Hiding God with the Greatest Lie Ever.
Right.
And the other one is called Under the Dome documentary, but I think that's Leisure X. And that one's about to break 2 million hits, which is not bad.
You do have a pay-per-view, I guess you could say, website now, but it's a small amount of money.
Oh yeah, that's small. I mean, I make a little bit off the book, I make a little bit off YouTube, and I make a little bit off the website.
Right.
And whatever else comes in, hey, great, wonderful. But I wasn't looking for it. But once the book came out, I was like, all right, I'm not going to be able to. People are going to think what they want about the book anyway, so I might as well turn on the rest of the crap.
And that's in the description box in closedworld.com. I'm not doing this to try to promote Mark and make Mark money or anything. I'm just saying that
I still don't, by the way,
of full disclosure.
I still don't have a subscribe button on any of my videos. People are racking. I mean, there's some flat earthers out there racking up the subscribers, which would be a good segue into a little side thing, which is what flat earther has the most subscribers right now?
Jaron. That's a guess.
Close. He would be second with the number of subscribers. Number one right now is Eric DeBay.
Oh, well.
Which
is a good segue into.
That's why I know we should do local news, and it's like
I know exactly, but we need to sit up
straight. Stormy. How about the weather, Frank? Why'd you say Stormy?
All right. The guy that we of all as flat earthers had a video sent pertaining to. I know when I would tell people who weren't flat earthers about flat Earth, it would be, 40 seconds later, if I were telling them via text, or if I left a party or someone's house, I'd get a link to a video sent to my email, or sent to my, text, and it would be Vsauce.
Yeah.
Vsauce, this is the Earth Actually Flat video. So most of us flat earthers have been sent that video by many people. We tell people about the flat Earth. They look, find the first top hit of a debunk video, and they're like, she's dumb, and send it. And then we look down and go, oh God, and delete it.
Yeah.
And Vsauce is Earth Actually Flat has been at the top of the heap when it comes to flat Earth videos, because it's in the title, for so long. But somebody knocked him out of the ballpark.
Finally knocked him down. And I was checking that, and I knew it was going to happen eventually. Vsauce, if people don't know who Vsauce is, he is one of those. Personally, I think he's actually got more pull in the multimedia categories than like Bill Nye in most cases, because he's like an educational supplement. Like when we were growing up, it was Schoolhouse Rock.
Yes.
Right? But now there's guys like Vsauce, who I'm pretty sure he actually went to the White House and met Obama. He was one of those guys. He's got 11 million subscribers, and he is, the reason why I think he's got that many is because I think institutions, he's kid safe. And so teachers, when they want to go out and have a drink or a smoke or whatever, they will, it's like, okay, you're going to watch Vsauce's next 3 videos, and he's basically endorsed, by the education system, as far as I can tell. So he made a video called "Is the Earth is Flat?" And when we were starting this thing out, he had, I think, 5 million hits. It's at about 11 million now, which is a lot. That's 11 million hits for a video. Is the Earth flat? But if you go into YouTube and you type in, and you have to type in flat Earth, you don't type in Earth is flat. I'll tell you why in a second. You type in flat Earth and you sort by, normally we sort by months or weeks or days or whatever. But if you sort by view count, it'll do 2 things. It'll count by individual video, but it'll also take the compilation of your entire channel worth of videos, lump it into a total, and then it'll rank it by that. So when you type in flat Earth now, Vsauce is number 2. Number 1 is Eric Dubé's channel. And I think it's quite a testament to the community at large, because everyone watches his videos, and he's just about to break 70,000 subscribers. 70,000 subscribers, there's no way it compares to 11 million subscribers, but the amount of hits he's gotten on his videos has now leapfrogged him up to where he's ahead of Vsauce. So congratulations. We don't have to deal with, for people who are looking for total view count, if you type in this works into our advantage, because if you're in mainstream media, if you're anyone, it's like type in flat Earth and hit view count. There you go. You got a pro flat earther right at the top of the heap, then followed by Vsauce's 1 video, then followed by a series of flat earthers, which is really great. With the exception of, dare I say it, because I'm starting to hate this kid more and more, because I watched him go from nothing to freaking, I don't know what marketing machine is behind him, Reaction Time.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that Jersey Shore wannabe piece of crap.
With the flat Earth girl that started with that, and we've all seen it.
The girl, who didn't also have a lot of subscribers at the time, her channel is called My Third Life. She does, you can tell, eventually she's going to go to Hollywood and try to be an actress, right? Right now, I think she's 14 years old, 15.
She could be like the new Snooki, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, granted, she's putting in a lot of effort, but man, she does not care about the hate. So some of her videos are like 80% thumbs down. It's bad. Because she'll create a character. In this case, she created a character called Schmitty that was trying to be like, I'm part of the Flat Earth Society and blah, blah, blah. Gravity's not a thing, and doing a horrible example. This kid, Reaction Time, thought she was serious, and so went into this big tirade, and now he's got 3 million subscribers. And
he may have not even thought she was serious. He might have known her channel was,
maybe just playing up on it. Maybe.
Yeah, not farce, but it was a comedy, I guess. And I don't mean to say that she would be the new Snooki, because she does have talent, and Snooki, I guess, has talent too.
Yeah,
but I'm not sure what kind.
I mean, again, when it comes to producers, is loved or hated, they'll take either. and she is hated. Snooki is hated. So who knows? I don't know. Comparing her to Snooki is kind of cruel.
Yes, I'm sorry, and I take that back.
God.
You said Jersey Shore for
I know. Well, it's the kid. Every time I watch him, it's like, oh, I just see Jersey Shore when I watch this kid. Anyway, the point is, don't search for Earth is flat, because you'll just get a whole bunch of reaction time videos, because it'll be, I'm reacting to girls who thinks Earth is flat, which is this thing. So Flat Earth will show you the correct ones, and it's mostly pro. And Wakey Wakey's in there. I think he's at like number 4.
Good.
And Russian vids, he's way up there. You know, all the usual suspects, which is great. The point is, most of them are pro flat earthers, which is fantastic.
It certainly is, as it should be. So,
So anyway, congratulations to Eric for finally overtaking him. I don't know if he'll, actually, do anything about it or say anything about it, because, he's pretty quiet when it comes to that stuff. But
yes, he's a modest man.
What are you talking about? You mean like when he did that rap against Joe Rogan? Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
No, I mean, seriously, take your credit where credit is due. I mean, you have to put out to overtake Vsauce was a big thing. 11 million hits for one video on Vsauce. Now, of course, Vsauce could do a second one and then jump right back, but I don't think he will.
Yeah, I don't think Vsauce is in the flat Earth game again. I don't think that'll happen unless he realizes that there might be money in it, and well, it could happen. But that'll just be more attention on flat Earth, regardless if it's negative attention. So, all right. So RT is in the news. RT is not RV, which is Russian vids. RT is Russian TV.
No, it's Russia Today.
Oh, Russia Today. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right.
Yeah.
Well, most people, and I'm glad you said it, because most people don't even know what RT stands for.
And the other day I was saying for the international, I was saying the Internet Movie Database and calling it the International Movie Database. So,
that's forgivable.
It's a Russia TV, Russia Today. Basically, we're talking about the same thing. So, correction, Russia Today. Anyway, they put out the first ever panoramic view of Earth from space from the ISS, and that was
but even the title was misleading, because because they were really hyping it on their channel, because they endorsed it. They were the ones that paid for the special camera, supposedly, and paid for the rights. And it was called, the first 360 panorama from space. I'm looking at this thing going, wait, what? And then finally, when I watched it, I was going, okay, what's going on? Because I didn't understand it at first, because I was just watching it. I didn't understand what they were trying to do. So I watched the interior footage. I saw the exterior thing like the ISS always shows with, the Aurora Borealis and all that crap. And then I saw the inside of the International Space Station. I was going, what? This looks like every other ISS thing. Why is this so special? What they meant by 360 was it was interactive. So it was no different than, and I don't know how many people still do this nowadays. I mean, it was a big thing 10 years ago. QuickTime invented it, where you could go, like, if you wanted to view an apartment, now you could, using special QuickTime stuff back in the day, you could pan around. It's like, if you want to look at the ceiling, you could pan up. Well, now, but that was with a still photo. That's how it started. Well, now you can do it with actual moving video. So someone can shoot a moving video, and now you can pan around while that video is playing, which is really, really cool technology. And I was going, okay, so what, right? And then I saw what they were doing. They did, the first part where they were showing the Earth at night, flying over. You could pan around. And I was looking, I was going, this is the fakest thing I've ever seen. And
it was so fake.
Everybody called them on it. And so that's when they printed this article that says, oh, hey, we seem to be catching some flack. People don't think our video, is true. And then what stunned me was they said, well, yeah, that first part, the outside shot absolutely is fake. It's CGI, but that's because it's impossible. We can't do that in real life. And then they followed that.
Why can't they? If the ISS is up there, they technically could do that.
Yeah. Have the guy go outside with a 360 camera and just spin around a few times, and that'd be it. But they followed that with, but the rest of it is real. All the interior shots, those are totally real. The outside shot is CGI. The rest of it, 100%.
I don't believe in diamond engagement rings, and I know you don't either, or maybe you do. I don't know. But if a man were to propose to a woman and she wanted a diamond engagement ring, He gave her this ring and proposed on bended knee. And then she had to resize it, so she went to the jeweler, and the jeweler said, "Well, the 18 karat gold band's real, but the diamond is fake." That's pretty much the same thing.
Good. I like that analogy.
It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, the first part's like, okay, fine, you get to pan around in CGI. I go, what is that any different than doing panning around Google Earth? That's really what it is. Google Earth is that same tech where you can spin around and move the camera all around Google Earth, but it's a CGI image. Everybody knows this. What's different was Russia Today didn't tell everybody that in the beginning. So it's like, oh yeah, first 360 exclusive, blah, blah, blah. And you're going, oh, that's cool. Why didn't you tell us in the beginning that the first part was totally computer generated? It was a bunch of crap. So they caught hell for it. And
I also think it was geared toward us, because we flat earthers are always saying, well, just do a 360, or do a 180 at least and show us.
Yeah.
And I think that was.
So now will
people kind of.
Yeah. So now people, because you'll be able to look at it in the search engines now and you'll see 360. And well, the thing is though, when you go to it, because some people now will go to that and say,
people won't go to it. People just believe things in titles.
You're right. They'll probably do. You're right. Some people will, but I don't think it'll be as effective as the crop circle thing. Most people, when the crop circles started coming out in the late 80s, early 90s, then all of a sudden there was this weird story where, I think I told you, where those two British drunk guys supposedly came out of nowhere and said that, oh yeah, we made all the crop circles at night. What you didn't know was before that, there was a British newspaper that was offering £50,000. And that was in like the early 90s. £50,000, which is about 75,000 American in the early 90s. That's a little chunk of change right there. To anyone that could say they prove they made a crop circle. And these two guys came out of nowhere. It's like, totally, here's some wood and some rope and here's a crappy crop circle. We get the money. Yes, you absolutely get the money. They paid him. And that story, so now whenever you talk to people about crop circles, especially over in England, they're like, oh yeah, it was done by those two guys. It's like,
yes,
every crop circle was done by these two idiots. Really? But no, I don't think the 360 thing's gonna get that much traction, because because all we have to do, anybody is like, well, look at it. There's nothing there.
Right.
There's literally nothing there.
Hey, back to crop circles. I know this isn't flat earth related, but it is in a way, because it's conspiracy-ish. Crop circles in general have got more and more complex, more delicate, more beautiful, more just amazing looking as times progress. Look at the 80s and look till now.
Yes.
So what does that tell you? Whatever's making them is getting more more intelligent, quotes around that word.
Or they're allowed to do more. I have kind of a theory on this.
Go ahead, let's hear it.
Well, because I was a big crop circle guy for years, and then I thought pretty much I'd seen it all. And there's two things you want to look up: crop circles. I got two. I try to hold a couple gems for just about any topic. First gem is look up the Milk Hill crop circle. That thing, and that was done, I believe, in the late 90s, early 2000s. It is massive. It is the most intricate thing you've ever seen, and you're looking at it and you're going, wow, I couldn't have drawn that thing. If you would have given me a couple days in Photoshop, I don't think I could have drawn it on a computer accurately. And this thing was done over, I think it was 450 to almost 500,000 square feet. The terrain wasn't even flat. It was kind of like a rolling hill, and it was still perfect. The other thing, and I can't remember if I sent you these pictures a while back. Did I ever tell you about the, you want to look up something fun, not even the England stuff. The stuff that was in Russia. Look up Krasnodar, Krasnodor, crop writings or crop patterns or something like that. If anyone can't find them, you can email me. I'll send you the pictures. But they're on Google. You can't miss them. Where it wasn't even circles. It was like literally 3 or 4 pages of text with breaks covering huge tracts of land in a writing that was absolutely undecipherable. And that was fascinating. So, but back to the point, I think that something, I believe there's rules to this place, like the 1561 Nuremberg event and how that all went down. I think that the civilizations, the things that are flying around, the other civilizations that are living here with us, I think there are certain rules they have to follow. And one of the rules is, which is why you can get away with the crop circles because it's temporary, is you can't create permanent etchings. You can't carve them in rock. You can't carve them in the dirt. You know, you could do it in snow. You can do it in grain fields. You can do it in anything that can be wiped out, you know, eventually. I think that's the loophole.
But
now,
mankind, womankind can carve rock. Why would, if there is?
Oh, because they can't, because I don't think anybody else can besides the indigenous, besides the current population, because that's the current civilization, because they would too easily influence. Imagine if you carved something in rock on the side of a freaking mountain that couldn't be erased for a long time. You know, even if you did 500 years ago, it would influence the population around it. Look at when I was over in Egypt, the people, the Christian, I can't remember, I'm not going to get the names right. When they went to the temples, they were so upset about, you know, how the hieroglyphs were laid out and everything. There was like, we got to erase this. And they were trying to scar them and buff them out because they was so hard to remove, because they were so, the blocks of stone that they were on, you know, you didn't have the technology to knock them down or blow them up and stuff like that. So they tried to score them. So what I'm saying is that putting them in, letting the civilization come down, you know, if you had a big spaceship, and just start, you know, writing your name.
Coming across.
Oh, right. Coming across the plane. You're not going to allow them to do it because there's too much of a chance you're going to have a long lasting impact on the people around it. You know, it may not be as impacting like to a group in Europe compared to a tribe in the middle of South America, but you will have an impact if it's long lasting. So you can't leave permanent markers is what I'm saying. I think there's rules there.
All right. Do you think that karma is another rule that we're supposed to live under, and whatever they are has going as well?
Oh yeah, I think karma has no limitations. Karma is, I'm a huge, you know me. I know. I'm a huge believer in karma. I have seen it work on small levels, on large scales. And I also think that in some ways, not to get into a side conspiracy here, but I think it's part of the reason why some of the operations, some of the staged events aren't why they're staged, because I think in some cases, the people that are doing it know about karma. I'll go off on a tangent here, and if someone wants to quote me, they can. You know, the Sandy Hook thing. You know, most Sandy Hook people, the conspiracy people that go into this, know full well that no kids were killed. But the operation that led around it was really, really elaborate. So the question comes is like, why didn't you kill the kids? Why didn't you just set it up and actually just kill some kids? Because you can't. Not if you know the rules. Not if you know about karma. Not if you know what karma really is. You know, you can't do things like that. The karma backlash, I consider karma kind of like a fog that will follow you. It may not catch you today. It may not get you tomorrow, but you stop long enough, it is going to find you. And I think the people in power, or, you know, anyone that knows how this world works knows that. Anyway, sorry.
Like the movie The Fog.
Yes. Both versions, both the old version and the John Carpenter version.
All right, another story that came out. This one just came out the last day of November 2016. A Chinese astronaut says he was puzzled by a weird knocking sound in space. Yes, Yang Li Wei is his name. China's first man in space talks about this that happened on his maiden flight back in 2003. So it happened in 2003. Well, we know it didn't, but he's now talking about it because they need some space programming from somewhere other than Russia and somewhere other than the US to put in the news the other day. And he said he heard a bunch of knocking on the outside of the craft, and it sounded just like knocking an iron bucket with a wooden hammer. And he said it sounded like it came from the outside. But really, when he thought about it, it neither came from the outside nor inside the spaceship. And the article goes on to say he got a little bit nervous. So, and the article goes on to say, well, what is it? Who is it? What is it?
Yep.
You know, it's more of that, you know, there are aliens and they're out there, but there's some life form that we don't know, and there's space, and there's men inside tin cans flying in it. So
human beings love a mystery. And again, it's just another great space story. No different than Story Musgrave, when he was the first American astronaut to actually say, oh yeah, I completely believe in aliens, blah, 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 at least once. Now he's retracted everything. And now, you know, he can do it just about any public speaking engagement he wants, because people, you know, want to ask him about that, although he won't answer it, because the subtext is always the same. And we'll expand on this just a little bit, which is, it doesn't matter what story, this is old hat for flat earth people, but doesn't matter what story you've heard of when it comes to space, the subtext is always the same. Hey, look, here's a new picture of Pluto from a globe. Face on Mars from a globe. Hexagon on Saturn, globe. Every other thing, it doesn't matter. It could be completely different. They don't even care if you believe or even read the article. All it does is subconsciously reinforce in your head. It's like, oh yeah, you're thinking about a space thing because you're on a globe. And it's brilliant. That part is really, really good. So yeah, this Chinese thing, which is utter crap. I mean, the better Chinese story, which is the one most people don't know, is that they have a rover on the moon, supposedly. But they supposedly have a rover on the moon for 2 years, and yet you'd think in that 2 years you would go over to the Sea of Tranquility and go next to the American flag, take a picture of the American moon car, do all these fun things on the because that's supposedly the only interesting thing that's on the moon, and they don't. They never talk about it. It's ridiculous.
And you know, your microphone just reminds people about the globe.
Well, yeah, but it's not blue.
I'm just joking.
It's
I love it.
I like this microphone. It's old school because you can hold it kind of like this. You know, like you can hold like two hands like they did in like the 40s. Like those.
I'd like teasing you about it. That's all.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
David's probably teasing me now too. Like,
yeah, David's saying,
totally gonna try to what? Yeah, get a mic stand.
Get a stand.
I like these old school ones.
Well, you know, doesn't sound require some sort of medium to travel through, like air or water? So if something were knocking on the inside or outside of a tin can in space, how would that sound be heard?
Good point.
So
yeah, it doesn't.
It's a good point about a fake story.
Yeah, it's a fake story. It doesn't matter. They're releasing them, you know, as fast as they can. And for those debunkers out there, and hopefully we'll get into some debunkers before too long. Crap, I forgot my train of thought. Debunkers. Something about. Well,
here's a funny comment while you think about this. I posted the article about the Chinese astronaut on my Facebook, and Victor S. Sphereless just says LOL. And a guy named Glenn Edgen says, probably the knocking sound was made by a dolphin, bearing in mind that outer space is fictional and, well, spacewalks are done underwater. So, yeah. It was Flipper.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Did you remember what you were trying to remember?
I completely forgot. But I don't think it was that. I don't think it was that revolutionary anyway.
You know, we could do a whole show called "The Things That We Forgot."
Yeah,
and it would be all the things that we forgot that were lost in tangents over the entire time we've been doing the Secret Show.
Well, I've had we had like 7 or 8 things that we were going to cover, but then I get on little side tangents for a second. Yeah.
Well, okay. One of those things is GoDaddy, and you tell us about that. I kind of alluded to it when we started.
Yeah. So Melody, who was, looking up.
Oh, you call her Mel. That's nice.
I call her Mel.
What does she call you? Wait, maybe.
Hey,
maybe
you.
We don't want to know.
Idiot.
Doesn't call you late for dinner?
No. She calls me irresponsible. No.
Oh yeah.
I know. Yeah. No. So she was looking up domain names, and anyone that's done, anything with websites knows that domains are cheap, super cheap. I got Enclosed World for like $19.99, and you can get domains just about anything, and they're priced based on popularity. So if there's a trend moving, the price point will stay ahead of the wave usually. And so she was looking, and she goes, you know, here's something fun. Earth is flat when she was looking. Now in Canadian, it's a little different from American, but when she was looking up in Canadian, it was $34,000, which is amazing. Earthisflat.com. And in American, I think that's about, depending on the exchange rate, is like 26,000, 27,000 American, which is still a lot of money. And that's, I mean, that's way up there. That's about as corporate pricing as it's going to get. You know, nobody's going to go out of the, you know, the only corporations usually pay that much money for websites. And it's great because it shows me that that's where, you know, anyone that says, oh yeah, no, it's the trend's not out there, it's a fluke, it's a flash in the pan. No, it's not. No, it's not. Earth is flat. That means it's being searched for a lot out there. People are searching. In fact, I didn't even bother looking what flat. Does even anyone have flatearth.com? So you guys want to have fun, go into GoDaddy or go into wherever you know, whatever the most popular domain hosting thing is, and see what things go for nowadays. So I thought that was really, really interesting. Very trendy.
See, I want to thank Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole David for getting the picture that I think he took that's used as the thumbnail for this particular show. And if you're watching it now, you're not looking at the thumbnail, but it's pretty interesting. I don't know if you saw it, Mark, but the thumbnail for the show, which is going to be on it, unless a fabulous picture of you or I comes up in the 3 potential pictures, is something that looks like it comes from a library in the children's section. And it's got, you know, some books on display for kids to pick. One of them is called The Ultimate Book of Space, and it's got an astronaut on it. The next one is called The Incredible Fact Book, and it's got the Earth as a globe in the picture. And right next to it is Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Nice.
Just thought it was funny. So
nice. It's awesome.
Thanks.
I've been sort of thinking, you know, I've been working up material for, you know, if it ever comes down to a debate, because I know a debate's got to be in the works somewhere, got to be with somebody. And I've been trying to think, you know, what would be, you know, if you had to come up with your best stuff for the opening lines, what would you hit them with? And the more and more I look at it, the more it's going to be tied to somewhat, and I know we can segue into the Bob thing later, the curvature of the Earth, which was, you know, if anyone's like, what do you hit them? What would your opening line be? It's like, okay, you know, it seems to be the one that everyone tries to find out on their own. Everyone goes to the beach, and we're not talking about the side to side curve like Tiger Dan tried to do with that giant level. It's the forward and back curve. That's the thing I've been kind of leaning towards more, which is like, show me how you would prove that there's actually a curve there. You know, when you're looking off into the distance. Because again, if a boat leaves the horizon and you know you can't see it anymore, it's it went over the other side of the horizon. So you take a telescope and there's the boat's back, and then it goes away again. Then take a high-powered electronic zoom and hey, the boat's there again. Sooner or later, the person, you know, the skeptic's got to look and say, well, you know, is that a mirage? It's like, well, is it a mirage? You know, because we've seen it in all weather conditions and all lighting conditions, multiple types of terrain, and different types of objects and elevations. So it's still, you know, I still think it's the strongest opening argument for people. Just at least get them thinking. But you still like the Van Allen radiation belts as a secret weapon as well. Oh, right? It's not secret because I've got so many cards up my sleeve. Yeah, like when I was talking to this guy from the Rooster, I could tell, you know, after the first 15 minutes he was a skeptic. So I just started hitting him with stuff. You know, what about this? What about this? What about this? You know, for every question you've got for me, I've got 3 for you. That I know you're not going to be able to answer. I will be able to come up with something on my side. You won't. And you know, back to the Rooster magazine article, and as I mentioned, it's in the description box of this video if you want to read it yourself and see some flat earthers' names, which is always nice. But the picture, the artwork that they used was that traditional, you know, circular flat earth, you know, on a sort of pointed base, you know, flying in the middle of space. I mean, they might as well have just used, you know, ships falling off in ocean waves off the side into nothingness. And I sent him, which was interesting because he did use that link. I sent him the Chris Pontius model, the electronic model that he was selling. You know, I sent him that, and he actually did include that in the link. It's not in the title. Yeah, I would have thought, you know, take a screenshot of that, but he didn't. That's all right.
An email was forwarded to me by Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole David, and it's from Greg T, who wrote to David and said, could you mention on your show or on Hot Pot Show? I like that I'm called Hot Pot.
Hot Pot?
It's like an abbreviation for hot potatoes. Hot Pot. I don't know.
Sounds like a Chinese dish? Lunch special.
I'm kind of hungry right now. I'll take a hot pot to go. Could you mention on your show, and this is for David, or the Hot Pot Show, to get flat earthers to email writers at infowars.com to expose NASA and the stealing of tax dollars for the obvious fakery, and not to say anything about flat earth. Once InfoWars gets into that and airs it, it's natural that a flat earth reason for the fakery will come out. InfoWars has a big audience.
Yeah.
Writers at infowars.com.
Yeah. Okay. Two things. One, I have a personal opinion on this because I talked to one of their guys, and when they were thinking about running a flat earth interview, and they were scared to death of it. They were so worried that like a lot of conspiracy shows, like, look, you can talk about a lot of things, but it is the scariest book on the shelf for a conspiracy show. If you're not, if you've never done one, because you're thinking it's so far out there that you think you're going to lose your audience. And that's what they're still afraid of. And he's not dumb. He knows that George Norrie talked about it. He knows that Joe Rogan's talked about it. He knows these guys, and yet he won't do it yet. And I don't know if he's fighting it or his producers are fighting it. Also interesting that InfoWars picked up, I think I sent you that link, or at least I told you about it. They picked up the RT article and ran with it, where, I don't know if they were doing it just to something interesting, but they did reproduce it on their site. So maybe they were waiting for RT to do something like this, just so they can test the waters. Let's see how our forums react when RT talks about it. We're not talking about it. RT's talking about it. Don't yell at us.
The RT article is also, I think, in the description box. Something else, I mentioned this the last time we did a secret show, and it comes to us from Orbicular Exempt. That's the username of somebody whose name is Rob. But Rob said, if you have a chance, could you mention the update about the Glasgow, Scotland meetup? So we mentioned this last time. It's coming up Saturday, December 3rd. And this show is on December 1st, Thursday. Just a reminder, it's usually on Wednesday. But so it's this Saturday, and it's at 1 o'clock. And I'm going to say this wrong, but if you're interested, you'll know what I'm trying to say. Into Brayhead at Weatherspoon's Lord of the Isles, not Lord of the Dance. And the rough itinerary is a meet and greet, decide where we might eat, possibly go bowling. And so
cool.
Thank you, Rob. And if you would like more information about that, you can email him. Let me see if I've got his email address. I know I do. Let me see. It would be orbicular.exempt@gmail.com. That is orbicular.exempt@gmail.com. So it's for Saturday. Cool to meet up in Scotland with some fellow flat earthers.
Right on.
Let's see. I know there was something else I wanted to mention with somebody's email address. It'll come to me. I'll let you take it away for something.
We should probably talk about the Buzz Aldrin story, since that's
oh my gosh, the Buzz Aldrin story. Yes, Buzz in Antarctica. And the only reason is because he's got to keep his vodka cold somewhere.
That's funny. Because most astronauts are drunks. Nice.
Well, he is, I think. I mean,
well, the Apollo astronauts are all drunks. Yes.
Well, I mean, if you were made to do that for whatever reason, be it money or be it family members were going to be killed or brainwashing, wouldn't you start drinking too?
Yeah, probably. I thought it was very, very interesting, though, and great timing. It's like, okay, you're linking. Again, it's more free press for us because it's linking Antarctica and an astronaut. I mean, if that doesn't cross-reference flat Earth, I don't know what will. That's great, because people do search engine. Of course, I didn't read the whole article. Like, what he was doing down there in the first place, just doing his going to the pole and taking pictures and all that crap.
let me see. I was
Plus,
looking at.
he's 86. What's he doing down there?
Well, I mean, when you're maybe cryogenics, it's cold.
Yes, seriously, 86? Really? Antarctica?
Well, he had to be evacuated, an emergency evacuation, and medical reasons they give. So I'm not quite sure what it is. That he was airlifted out by the National Guard or something like that. And he went from Antarctica to New Zealand, and he was there as a tourist, they say. And he was posting photos in advance of his journey onto Twitter. Yeah. But did he really go there? You just put it in the
right.
Could be fake.
Well, he might have.
Yeah.
I mean, why not? The question is, what was he doing? Why have all these people gone down there recently? Why did that Pope from, why did the Secretary of State for the United States?
Do we have proof that they went there? No. That's the thing.
No, but why even tell people that you went? It's not like going to Mars.
It's showing people, it's programming. It's showing people you can go to Antarctica just fine. Look at these things
I get you.
that are in Antarctica.
I got you.
It's for us.
I have never, me, I've never said from minute one that you couldn't go to Antarctica.
Right.
In fact, I was really surprised because that was one of Tiger Dan's early rants, which was, he said, "Oh no, you can absolutely go to Antarctica." I was like, dude, who said you can't go? You can go. You want to spend 15 grand? You, Patricia, could go tomorrow and go on the beach and take a picture with penguin. But you're not going to be going unsupervised, and you're not going to be able to just take a trip and just go wandering off into the Tules. That you're not going to do. But yeah, you can go. But again, the more interesting part, and again, everyone knows this already, is corporations cannot go there. That's the difference. That's the part that's more significant.
And I've read the whole treaty myself. And so I understand that, you and I could book a trip if we wanted to, and take a bunch of people with us if we wanted to. But yeah, I mean,
but if you're an Exxon,
just go anywhere you want, and even if you did, you might die if we just went wherever we want.
If you're an Exxon ship, you're an Exxon exec, a VP, and you decide to take one of your ships, one of your exploration ships, that's looking for, that you usually use for oil rigs, and you head down that way, you will be met before you get to that beach. Absolutely, positively. They will know you are coming, and they will turn you away, and they'll go, "What are you even thinking?" That's the difference.
There's another email address I want to give out, and this one is one I gave out during one of our last shows. And this is a gentleman named Rob who lives on a canal boat in Staffordshire, England. And I mentioned this last time around. And he wanted me to one more time give his email address out because he just wants to meet some fellow flat earthers that are in England. And already he's been contacted by Martin Leakey, Flat Earth British, and maybe other people. But I want to give it one more time because he felt that when I pronounced it, I wasn't clear. But maybe my accent is unclear to him because he has an English accent and I've got an American one. But I will mention it again because I want people to connect. So this is the email address, Robert Scott's email address, Scotty, Scotty, L as in Larry, V as in victory, G as in good, Scotty LVJ11 at gmail.com. That's Scotty, Scotty, LVG11 at gmail.com. If you want to connect with Robert Scott and you live in England and you want to just meet up or exchange emails, support, you know how it is when you're a flat earther and you don't know any other flat earthers. It's lonely sometimes. Yeah. So
can be, yeah. Which is weird because there's guarantee you there's flat earthers around you. You just don't know who they are.
Well, your girlfriend is a flat earther, and that's a lovely feeling to have.
Yes, it is. Her name is Melody. She did the wonderful video, Flat Earth Love. And yeah, it's great. I mean, well, it takes a lot of pressure off. I'll say that.
Yes.
Because then you don't have to worry about it. What was that article that we caught a couple months back where there was that doctor whose wife did not believe, and she says it's a real strain on the relationship.
Yes.
It's tough. I'm sorry for those people that are in it and they were already dating somebody before they got into it, because yeah, it can put some tension in there. But yeah, it's not with Melody.
Well, Melody also has researched, I've spoke with her, other conspiracies as well, and is on
Yes.
board with the same things I would imagine that you are to one degree or another. And wow, that just makes everything so much better. Of course, then you've got to get along after that.
Well, yeah,
But it's a good foundation.
She was also lucky because her father was a conspiracy guy. And my family, not conspiracy people. You know, I had to get them into it. And to this day, you know, it's tough because, you know, they're staunch Republicans and pretty much believe anything that Fox News tells them is the gospel. You know, so it goes the Bible, then Fox News, then it's not good.
Do you know what somebody told me the other day? That I am the Megyn Kelly of Flat Earth. And I said, Google Megyn Kelly. And I said, I don't look at all like Megyn Kelly.
I know where you go. Yeah.
And
you know,
this person said, put in "I hate Megyn Kelly" into a search engine. So I did. And there's websites upon websites and Facebook and hating her because I don't like the way she smiles. I don't like her gold earrings. I think she's a stupid moron. She's a bimbo. And I guess, wow, being the Megyn Kelly of Flat Earth, maybe not the best thing, but maybe it's a compliment. I don't know.
She's one of the Republican media's talking heads. And really, she didn't get that much hate until recently. And she's going to get more hate. I think she was at odds with, and I don't know exactly all the details, with Donald Trump.
Yes.
She was not a fan. And, unfortunately, he's just become president-elect. So I don't know what, you know, your press things are going to be like if if she ever gets a chance to moderate anything ever again with him.
I have heard Jaronism say that he thinks Megyn Kelly's attractive. So throw that in there.
Look, okay, you want to know the big difference? Yeah, the big difference between NBC News and Fox News when it comes to the women is, you know, heavy lipstick, heavy eyelashes, you know, just
lots of leg and clingy clothing.
Yep. Yeah. Throwing some cleavage every once in a while. You know, it's the Republican thing. Democrats are much more, what's the word I'm looking for? Just kind of stressed down, and, you know, the women do not
keeping it real.
Very, very much more casual. The women do not go out of their way to, you know, to be all super shiny.
Right.
So
I like how you say shiny.
But no, I mean, Megyn Kelly, yeah, I could sort of see that kind of.
It has nothing to do with how I look. I think they meant that there was some people hating her for what they felt were just no reason.
Yeah.
Just because people didn't like the way she smiled or her earrings or something.
That's going to happen with everybody. I mean, look,
Crazy.
There's some people that don't love me to this day, you know.
Really? No.
I know. I still get Eric supporters every once in a while sending me emails telling me I'm a horrible, horrible person. It's like, come on, really?
Yeah. Never convicted.
Acquitted. Yeah. Never. Got off every time.
All right. Well, let me go into chat on our video and see who's here.
All right.
Look, Dina Walker is here. And I want to take a moment to, without revealing everything about what Dina is going through, it's somebody very close to her family who's going to be having an operation. And I just want to send out good vibes for that person in her life who's very important to her. Cool. So enough said on that. Hello, Arwin. And Zulu1 says, I love you, Mark, just not that globe mic.
Wait, just not what?
Your globe microphone. Sorry.
Oh, come on. Why? There's not a lot of flat. Even look at Patricia's microphone. It's a half sphere.
I've been told that's a phallic symbol. Or it's supposed to represent Saturn. Really? No, it's a microphone. Anyway.
Look, there's a lot of phallic symbols out there, but you got to remember the phallic symbols were designed by men.
Right. Exactly.
Like the Corvette is a phallic symbol.
Oh, my dad had a Corvette in the 70s and 80s, white, with a white leather interior.
Ooh, that's
in the trunk, one thing and one thing only, golf clubs.
It's awesome.
That's my dad. Let's see. Who else is in here? Nathan Oakley says my mic is flat. So, okay.
I'm not. Okay, real quick. The reason why I picked this microphone isn't because it's globish in shape or anything. It's because it has
We can't hear you. Go ahead.
Because I did that?
Yes.
Is it that sensitive that when I do this, you actually can't hear me?
You sound like you're in a bathroom, but yeah.
Awesome. Well, yeah, that's what, because it has no noise reduction. So you have to have it real close, and
yes.
but it doesn't it's about as accurate sound as I can, that's out there, in my opinion, for the money. So no, I'm not going to change it. I'm not but I also didn't paint it blue with, I could have hand painted it with continents and the whole thing.
True.
No, I didn't.
Put it on its axis. Hello to Amanda and Thor Phones, who says hello, or Forns. Sorry, I have glasses on, and maybe I need to update my prescription. William Genska says much love to Ukdina. Hello, William. Martin Liedke, Flat Earth British. Update on Martin's teeth. This is something that's been talked about on his channel many times, so I'll just co-opt it and bring it over to this channel. He went for an appointment today to get x-rays and all of that, and he's going to have an operation eventually to have all of his teeth, which aren't looking the way he wishes they would look, taken out and a shiny set put in. So we're not sure when, but today was the first step in that saga for him. So
good for him. We probably will not be able to recognize him, I swear to God. He'll probably talk completely differently. Because seriously, your teeth they alter your speech. You know this.
Well, I think you get used to it after a while. And I think that they do it, and then you live with it for a while, and then they can make small alterations with filing or something, if, I guess, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I had braces, so I remember what that was like when I first got braces on when I was a teen. My tongue was bleeding because I was like rubbing on the metal at the time. And, you don't feel that you can eat correctly or speak correctly, and then you get used to it.
Sure.
Alexander Sasha Mexico Panish is in there too. So is Cami. Hello, Cami. Anita Riley brings up a good point. I forgot to mention this. Thanks, Anita. It has been said that Megyn Kelly is Nicole Brown Simpson. Have you ever seen pictures of Nicole Brown Simpson? Very conspiratorial. They look a lot alike.
Well, yeah, but Nicole Brown Simpson died.
Yes, but we're talking conspiracy.
Just no, like but even if Nicole was aged, no. Bill Hicks is not Alex Jones, but Nicole Brown Simpson is definitely not Megyn Kelly, because you put 20 years on Nicole Brown Simpson, that does not become Megyn Kelly.
I agree. I agree with that, but people have said it. So.
And OJ did do it.
Yeah.
What? I mean, why not? I mean, she was cheating on him with a waiter.
Well, she probably got free food,
Goes home. I mean, I'm sure
what a dysfunctional, horrible relationship that was for it to wind up like that.
Yeah.
And we'll never know the true story, but a woman's dead and a man, and the rest is history. Or aren't they? Let's see. Flat Earth Math says hello to me, and I say hello back. A non-flat earther in our chat. There's
what?
Yes. He's very polite though, and very nice.
It's not cool hard logic. Remind me, we got to talk about him.
Oh yes, no, it's not cool hard logic. Totally different person. Mark Ofsky is here. Swamp Lover says he's not here, but he is. I see him. Stephen Meisner Flat Out Lies says, hey guys. I already mentioned Arwin. Keanu Collins says semi-disc moon. Well, I don't know what that means, but yeah, I when I look up, that's what I see too. Definitely Keanu.
Sure.
Let's see. Teresa Gordon, hello. And
is Bob in chat?
Is there? Who?
Is Bob Globebusters?
Cammy was. I'm kind of scrolling up.
I wonder if they're listening. If they come in, I'm really, I just caught wind of the math breakthrough. That I don't know if you saw that video. Insanity and Sandy posted like a 3-minute clip where Bob and Cammy they talked to an Ivy League mathematician / engineer, and they think they may have cracked some of the math to prove that the globe is absolutely dead. They hired a guy.
And that's going to be on Globebusters, perhaps, on Sunday?
Yeah. Have you not heard of this?
Yes, but I don't know of full details.
I thought I had the scoop on you for a second there.
Well, I've heard, but I don't have the full details. Math not my strong suit. So yes, that's one of those things. Wake the Sheeple, Michael is here and says, any flat earthers coming to St. George, Utah, USA, or go to Zion National Park right by here where he lives, email him and we'll meet up. Michael Lee on Facebook Messenger. So Michael Lee, Lee. That's Wake the Sheeple 2016. Let's see what else is going on. Dana Jensen, hello, and talking a little bit about Canada, talking about Ontario being beautiful and a good place to live. Oh my gosh, Teresa Gordon says that people think Megyn Kelly is really Jessica Simpson.
Jessica Simpson?
Why do people have to be somebody else? Why can't they just be themselves?
I know, blonde women with dark eyes. There are a few of them out there, but they're not all the same person.
True. Let's see.
Actually, it's funny because funny that you mentioned Megyn Kelly, because when I have debate fantasies about like one of our panels going against their panels, I keep imagining she'll be the one that's roped in as a moderator, and then I come after her.
The moderator.
Well, that was also part of the fantasy. Part of the fantasy was that I could.
Wait, don't say me and fantasy in the same sentence.
No.
Go into a whole world we don't want to go to.
Okay, flat Earth fantasy. I should clarify, which was I would browbeat Megyn Kelly so badly she would leave, and then we'd get you in there to be a moderator because I think you'd be actually a fairly objective
like the
moderator.
Understudy. I'd come out like putting my glasses on and like.
Exactly, and you're thinking the entire this is your big moment. This is it. And then you trip and like fall.
I could do something to really help. Let's see what else is going on here. Midnight Rose says, anyone notice how bright Venus appears in the sky lately?
So, I can tell it's been raining in the Northwest for 2 months straight.
Hello to Dave Hinkle. And I'm as ugly. Wow, that's actually a username. I'm as ugly says, my lady friend went down the rabbit hole with me, going back to what we were talking about, having your significant other, life mate or whatever, being on the same page with you. Some people are saying that it's choppy. Our feed is choppy. Sorry, we're doing the best we can.
I wonder if it's recording it like that though, because it's weird. It's different this time because remember before you would like cut in and out. You haven't cut out maybe like 3 times.
I moved the setup into the bedroom of this corporate apartment I'm temporarily staying in. And people have asked me, what does corporate apartment mean? It's a corporation rents out every single day of the year an apartment, and they have 2, this company. You can contact this corporation and they will rent it to you for short term, like 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. It's less expensive than staying in a hotel. That's what corporate apartment means. So I'm here until my house gets finished, and hopefully that's going to be December 6th that I get to sign on the dotted line.
Good cover story. I like it.
Yeah, it's good. Good, right?
Yeah. Actually, it's just the agency. She's on the 55th floor of one of the buildings.
Actually, 14th floor in the Galleria is where it is, which is actually kind of pretty, don't you think? And you can see my computer.
I do. I see that. It's nice.
You on it. There's you. Wave so we can see you, Mark. Yeah, I think we could see you.
And there's no camera. Wow, there's no cameraman actually shooting you. That's actually very convincing.
Oh yeah, pretty good. Fourth wall, kind of in weird way. The reason I was mentioning this place and the background, and there was a reason. See, that can go in the show. The things that they forgot, the tangents.
Yeah, that my one of my regulars from Alabama, he says, I'm sorry,
regular callers, right?
Yeah. Yeah, where they say you've gone off into the weeds, you've driven off into the weeds, and then you got lost. You have to find your way back. No, you were talking about spouses and how it's good that if you have a flat Earth boyfriend or girlfriend, how it really
I lost it. It's long gone. It's fading. It's fading. It's fading fast.
Sorry.
Let's see. Timaeus is here in chat, and that's a second person who is a naughty flat earther. So a couple non-flat earthers are here and being pleasant. Now, I don't have anybody blocked, so there's nobody in here hassling any of us, which is nice.
That's nice.
Let's see.
Did you, by the way, because I know you're old enough, I know you're only 29, but do you remember back in the States, it's different for people that are outside the States, that like nerds. Did you ever have anyone in your school that would pretend, especially if you were up in the northern states, that they had a girlfriend in Canada? They would say that it's like, oh, it's like, dude, you've never had a girlfriend. I do too. I met her in Niagara Falls, blah, blah, blah. And that whole, like, lots of guys would use that line.
Oh.
And so I think about that quite often, because now it's like, I actually do have a girlfriend in Canada. And, is she real? Yeah, she actually is real. But
I was thinking that she might, and we were going to be doing the show Wednesday. She was home. And she was going to sort of pop in for a visit. And I messaged her today and said, try to get off work early so you could come in and say hi. Hopefully she'll be able to.
That'd be nice. I don't know. I mean, she's shy sometimes.
Yeah, but we know who she is. We know what
people get nervous when they go. I mean, you remember, well, you've seen it when you've interviewed people. People, they'll make their own videos, but when they have their very first interview, you get tense because you don't want to, especially if it's live.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I mean, even my own videos, you can look back at my first episodes till today, and it's basically the same thing, but I'm less nervous and more comfortable.
Yeah.
And that's just like all of us who've made videos, from our first video to our current video. We're hopefully getting better. Hopefully.
It gets old hat after a while, but the first couple ones have to go well. You don't want to, but drinking does not help. I can tell you that right. In fact, it's usually the opposite effect. I've done couple of my
we were going to do a video, not a video. Yeah, a video. We were going to do a show where we drank, but we decided against it.
Yeah. Well, these days
I'm not a big drinker, and it probably would not end in a pretty way. So.
And alcohol has had a diminished effect on me since my surgery, which is super weird. I cannot explain it.
Your appendix.
Yeah. Don't know what they did when they were in there, but man, alcohol, coke, heroin, pot, none of that stuff just
doesn't work anymore. Ayahuasca, no effect.
No. You can't even see the tracks on my arms.
Mike Flatbird is in the chat. Just glossing over that.
Okay. Ayahuasca, thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, William Genska says that Donald Trump is a woman, according to Jungle Surfer.
What?
Now, I believe I'm still subscribed to Jungle Surfer, and a lot of people are. I know that I'm vegan, he's vegan. There's my vegan mention for the show. There's always one. That's not why I subscribe to him, but he's done a couple of videos that mention veganism. He's got a lot of crazy conjectures, but it's entertaining, and some of them have got to be right.
I know it's fine. Look, I'm flat Earth. I cannot judge, but for me, like there's a reason why I don't watch anything by Dallas Gold. I think that's his name, Dallas Goldbug.
Dallas Goldbug, yes.
Oh my God, this guy is this guy, and this guy is this guy. It's like, okay, I get it. Everyone. If you take enough pictures of two people, you're gonna, in the same lighting, if they have even similar bone structure, you're gonna run into some of the same stuff. Mm-hmm. But I'm not gonna make that leap. Are there clones out there? Yeah, maybe. I mean, the Paul McCartney one I think was interesting. But
I think Paul McCartney's real. That's a real conspiracy that he really
did die, and they just use a double, and
they put a double in, only to keep the income stream going, not for any sort of the weird reasons things happen today. Yeah. I don't know. Right. What else is in here? Daniel Leather says he's got a channel, but no, Daniel Leather has his own channel. There's somebody in here whose channel is My Ab Flat. My Ab Flat, like flat abs. It's kind of an interesting channel name, My Ab Flat.
My Ab Flat?
Yeah.
Is he in there just because he thought the channel was about stomach exercises? Seriously?
No, I don't think
that's what's happening.
No.
All right, so today we're talking about like max and burn on the core.
Do some core work.
20 minutes. You gotta get that heart rate up.
What else? Matthew Horbury says, my wife thinks vaccines are safe. We're not on the same page.
Wow.
So, and you're a big vaccine guy. I'm going to use that phrase.
You've heard my rant.
Anti-vaccine guy.
Again, not anti-vaccine as much as pro-vaccine choice, meaning do not think that you can force parents into the drugs that you're going to give them. You know, that you have to give them this drugs, otherwise they're not going to be able to go to public schools, or they're not going to receive insurance, or they're not going to receive this and that. Don't punish parents for being overly careful about what goes into their child's body. Call me crazy.
Exactly. You said
I'm sorry.
well.
You can't. I'll leave it at this. You not to go down a dark path, but you want to know what I'm talking about. You go type in 2 words into YouTube: vaccination or vaccines and autism, and try to get through about 30 minutes worth of parents' videos losing their minds on camera. It is super emotional and awful. And these are not fake people. You know, these are not people being paranoid. Something happened to their kids. They were perfectly normal kids. They had a battery of vaccines, and all of a sudden they, you know the story, the fevers, the spasms, and then when they snap out of it, something happened. You know,
sad. So sad.
Anyway, happier stuff. What do we got?
Well, we have 223 people viewing. It was a little higher a moment ago. I want to get up to 233. So.
Oh, cool. Well, let me hate on something.
Have 33 in there. I don't know.
Let me call it a potential flat Earth enemy, and that is Cool Hard Logic.
Oh yes.
A new debunker has entered the.
Well, he's not new. He's not new. He's been doing videos since forever. I think Cool Hard Logic.
Well, not against flat Earth though, has he?
Yeah, he's done flat Earth videos for quite a while.
Oh, he's just back into it.
He comes and goes with the people that he takes a swing at.
Yeah, I'd love to see him try to debate anybody. You know, for me, I'd love, just because I'm tired of saying that Jeffrey Grupp wants to debate somebody, and because the Jeffrey Grupp challenge has been out there forever. He's the biggest brain I consider in flat Earth, and he wants to debate somebody. And Cool Hard Logic, when he came out with this latest one, which was part 1, and it just went over the maps, and that was it. Like, oh, dude, come on. How many parts? He has
37,000 subscribers.
I know.
Logic.
I know. I consider him in the same genre as or same league as True Theory.
Yeah, I guess something like that. They probably don't. He wouldn't probably agree with that. But he's.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait. One more thing. And one of the big reasons why he's a lost cause and people should go after him is that one of the channels he subscribes to literally is Jet Propulsion Laboratories.
Oh, well, there you go. There you have it.
Oh, NASA. Bow down. It's like, dude.
The YouTuber Pancho Pete has attacked Cool Hard Logic quite a lot. So he's done videos debunking homeopathy, geocentrism, obviously flat Earth, spirit science. He's done all sorts of different videos about flat Earth having zero evidence, a year ago, a year and some months ago. So he's been doing anti-flat Earth videos for quite some time. Then he does other things and takes a break and comes back. He's a well-spoken guy. He's intelligent. He's just on a path where he believes that everything that is presented to us in mainstream is real. Just down the line.
Oh, and he wouldn't be alone. That's how it works. But he's if he subscribes to JPL, that means that he absolutely, and it's got to drive it's got to drive some debunkers nuts. And I have seen this with some of them where they're coming back around. They've done their gamut of bashing people, and all of a sudden, wait, flat Earth's still here? That fly is still in the room. Oh yeah, it is still in the room. And
it's like the movie The Fly. It's getting bigger and
yeah. You're crazy. Not going to stop this thing. I don't care what you do. All you're doing. You know me. It's all you're doing is helping our metrics. Please do a 10-part series against flat Earth, please, because some of your 37,000 subscribers or whatever it is, they're going to turn. All you have to do is go against it.
Let's see who else is in here. Somebody trolled, and Ukdina got them. First trolling of the evening. As far as I know. Good work, Ukdina. She's quick with a spanner, or as they say in the United States, wrench. Doesn't spanner sound much better than wrench? Yeah, that's what they call it in the UK.
A troll?
No, a wrench.
Oh, a spanner.
Yeah. Interesting, right?
That is interesting.
I already mentioned Mike Flatbird. Timothy Pyatt says, yes, Fall, fake Paul McCartney, F-A-U-L, Fall, was and is a great musician.
Yeah.
So pretty interesting. A lot of people in here having a fun in the chat, but they're talking about the things that we're talking about. And that's fun because it's like the show inside a show.
Yeah. What else did you have on your list? Because I've got
I've got some emails to read. You go ahead with something and I'll pick
quick update on the license plates.
Oh, yeah.
As you know, I honestly thought it would have caught on a little quicker, or maybe I didn't think it was going to catch on at all. I wasn't sure because I did It's Flat for my Washington license plate, and then all of a sudden a guy from Montana got It's Flat, and then Nevada, and then Illinois, and because most states you can do 7 letters, the really big states you can do 8, and then a guy from Texas got one from his motorcycle, ITS FLT. You got one which hasn't arrived yet called Flat RTH. Virginia, which was really good. That one, ITS FLT. So with 6 letters, you can still do It's Flat. But his was cool because Virginia had the NASA logo on it. So it's flat, but it has NASA. It was kind of cool. Saskatchewan, Canada, It's Flat. Iowa, It's Flat. And then the one I'm going to use for the thumbnail for this show when I reproduce it is the first 8-letter. What's that?
Is this one here?
Oh, no. That's not the one I'm going to use, but I'll talk about that one in 1 second.
All right, let me hold it up so we can get the look of it right now.
All right. Oh, well, let me talk about it. So I got this letter just from this guy from Germany today because I didn't know you could actually do personalized plates, and you really can't. So what he figured out was, and I don't want to read it, apparently it's a regional thing. So FL is actually his region. And he figured out, hey, all I have to do is ask for AT afterwards. So those are the only 2 letters he could choose. And then the numbers, what was the numbers after? It was 50?
51. There it 51. Is one more time.
And he chose 51 because that's E, which is the 5th letter, and A. So he was trying to do flat EA. But that was in Germany.
But just flat a 5-1 right there. It looks cool.
Yeah, flat 5-1, which is still cool. So again, there's lots of choices. You don't have to get It's Flat. The one that I'm going to use for the thumbnail for this show, not your version, but my version, which is 8 letters. It was one of my regular callers out of New York. He tried It's Flat and he couldn't get it. So, but he goes, but you have 8-letter options in New York State. So he picked It Is Flat, and I sent you that one. You like the colors on that one.
This is mine.
There's yours. Yours is really cool because it's black,
and my new car's black too. So, yay!
Nice. That's really cool.
Yet,
and so if I missed anybody from the plates that I've listed off so far, please let me know. And I will put your slide in the rotation of the slides that I'm putting up because you usually get a screenshot weeks before you get the plate. I will put it up and then you can, take pictures of the plate when it actually comes. Sometimes it's embossed, sometimes it's not, but it's really cool. I thought it was only going to be in the United States, but now, all the provinces in Canada, have an option to do it. There's really a cool plate. I've never seen it before. It's in the, I think it's up in the Northern Territories of Canada where it's not even shaped like a rectangle. It's shaped like a bear.
Interesting.
I know, right? How cool is that?
It's pretty cool. I like bears. They're cool animals unless you happen to run into them and they want to rip your head off like the Grizzly Man movie.
Oh, did you watch that?
I did. In the theater.
Oh, you saw that in the theater?
Yes, I did.
Man, that is, I don't even, in fact, it always bothered me whenever I was hiking. It's one of the scariest things. Most people don't get it. That is the scariest thing you can ever see when you're hiking is a bear cub.
Yes.
Because if you see that bear cub and the mother sees you in the same line of sight as the bear cub, that mother will absolutely do anything in its power to get to you. And but that's not with the Grizzly Man. That wasn't the case. He was an idiot. And he put his tent literally in the middle of a bear path when, at the end of the season when they're hungry and bad things happened.
Four Cats Elise is the name of a person who wrote me and asked me if I saw the advertisement, or advert as she called it, with Buzz Aldrin for Quaker Oats that's running there and might be running in the United States as well. So I went and looked it up on YouTube, and I've not yet watched it, but it shows Buzz Aldrin as the screenshot. It came out November 2nd of 2016. And there's Buzz with all those bracelets and watches on. He reminds me of like when Swatch watches were popular in the 80s and everyone would jam on jangly bracelets on a man. But we know that that's Buzz's thing. And a big ring and another big ring. And he's talking very animatedly in the thumbnail of the video called Moon, Quaker Oats ad featuring Buzz Aldrin. You can find it on YouTube. But funny to look at the comments because I can't watch it because we're doing a show right now.
Sure.
And Olaf Pope, who's been on a couple of shows with me before, known by the channel name Terrarium Firma, it makes a comment. It says, well known what Aldrin had for breakfast on that day. And he links one of his own videos called NASA Breakfast Club, enough to make you puke. Yeah. And there's a couple more comments that are pretty funny in this. Moon, Quaker Oats ad featuring Buzz Aldrin. So go watch that if you want and make a comment about the truth about the Earth. So he's might be the only flat earther in there. Olaf Pope, Terrarium Firma. So go make one if you have a moment. It's by Ad Heaven 2. And it's called Moon, Quaker Oats ad featuring Buzz Aldrin. We need to do a truth bomb on it.
Nice.
So what else you got, mister?
Wow.
We have 15 more minutes. We can visit
minutes.
Chat one more time. We've got a bunch of emails I, of course, haven't got to.
I'm going to do another email show maybe tomorrow because my email's been piling up because I missed one last week. Did finish Strange World. It's hard to believe how time flies. Strange World episode 81 is in the books, and that was a weekly show.
Yeah.
Other than that, just trying to do as many interviews as I can. And by the way, if somebody wants me to, because Carly was really great, about saying, oh, you're the guy you should talk to is Mark Sargent. If somebody wants me to be on somebody's show, I'm going to follow the same rules that I've kind of set for myself when this thing started, which is, look, I don't solicit anybody. Every interview that I have done, they have contacted me either by phone or by email. So if somebody wants me to do a show, please feel free to email on my behalf. Say, oh, because usually they'll respond really quickly. It's like, hey, the guy you should interview is this guy. And it doesn't even have to be me. Just pick a flat earther, or whoever your favorite flat earther is, and email a podcast or whatever show. And I'm wondering that even if Alex Jones gets enough mail, that maybe he will, finally cave in. He's one of the few people that hasn't done it yet. I mean, Joe Rogan's talked about it. I don't think he's going to drag anybody to the studio or Skype anybody in.
Well, at least Joe Rogan's mentioning it, even if it's in the negative. It keeps it in the public consciousness. But Alex, not really.
Nah,
Chess calls in, but...
I keep thinking that if he does, because he's so close, because he blurs the lines between mainstream, I keep thinking if he does one, that will give mainstream people an excuse to attack him to no end. It's like, okay, we knew Alex Jones was out there, but now he's talking about this. So, now we're going to, be absolutely merciless with him. Just possible.
An email here. It's kind of directed to you and I. Hi, my name is Brian. Sorry about your Google problems the other day, he says. My question's from Mark, and this goes back to something we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
What is the deal with NASA? Are they getting nervous, that they have to get Russia involved with all the lies with this 360 view that they're starting to push? I've never seen that part of the ISS from the US. What a joke. I'd like NASA with the fancy lenses that they have on there and the satellites. Give me a call and I'll give them my coordinates and let them zoom down on me with a live feed, and I'll give them the American salute, which I can imagine what that is. But they won't, because they can't, because they don't exist. So
I knew that NASA was in trouble when they came out with their, and you and I think have talked about this at least once, they came out with their second wiki category, which is called, and you can look this up, it's in Wiki right now, it's called Third-Party Confirmation of Apollo Moon Landings. NASA was getting hit so hard and so often that they had to come up with their entire new Wiki section, which basically, the short version of that is, it's NASA saying, hey, don't take our word for it that we went to the moon. Listen to all these other space agencies. And, they listed the India and China and Japan and a few others, but nothing that they put up on screen. There's nothing. Nobody confirmed anything. They just said, oh yeah, we like everything else in NASA. Again, shows you how consistent they are. They were saying everybody else can vouch for us. Here, listen to them. And then they said nothing. They listed, you know, there's no pictures, there should have been third-party confirmation. The JAXA program, at the very least, during the early 2000s, when the Japanese space agency supposedly sent high-def cameras around the moon, all you had to do was point down, see a tranquility, and they never did. Never did. And I included some of that footage, and it was horrible.
And still no cameras mounted at the top of rockets. As far as I know.
No, there's never been.
They'll do it. They'll do a fake of that event. They will. They do a fake of everything that we complain about.
I don't know how they could. If you're too scared to even
CGI.
Yeah, but if you're too scared to release even a decent Earth shot, just a straight up still shot. Remember the blue marble shot? That is one of the lead-in things I'll do in a debate. It's like, look, how can you justify the only blue marble shot being taken in 1972 and the second one being taken in 2015, 43 years, and you only took one picture of Earth?
And the continents always are different sizes whenever these things.
Continents are always different sizes. The first blue marble shot, which was 1972, only showed the bottom part of Africa, and there was only one continent shown in its entirety, and you know which one that was? Antarctica. No coincidence. Yeah. You know, it's like, why would you not show the United States and South America? It's the American space program. You would wait for that shot because it's like, hey, here's America. And because that's the shot you would put in every textbook in the world.
You know, when they were up there, they were just kind of tired of waiting for the Earth to rotate. And then they just took a shot, any shot.
Yeah. And then they were too scared to take a second one. And they said, you know what? No one's going to notice. Let's just keep it in the textbooks. 1972, I don't blame them. No one's going to check. There's no internet for 20 years. You know, after that first shot was taken, at least. And so, you know, they just kept milking and milking it. But to your point, you know, again, there's no panning shots, you know, of the astronauts doing anything. There's still no footage of anything. I can give most credit to Max Malone because he was the one that found most of the stuff, where there's no shot of any rocket where the camera's running on the rocket where it's either leaving Earth or coming back. None of them. None of them have any cameras going.
And no shot of astronauts, as far as I know, coming out of the hatch.
Of an airlock. Nope.
An airlock.
Nope. Nothing. There is no
going back into it. There's really, I mean, you could fake it in a Hollywood studio kind of thing, I guess. That's where they do it all. So why haven't they done it?
The Hollywood segue. I had to throw this at the Rooster guy to circle back to the Rooster guy because we were, you know, talking. I'm going, you know, because he mentioned something about movies. And I go, doesn't it bother you that nobody's ever made a moon mission movie? And he goes, what are you talking about? I go, he goes, of course they have. And I go,
the one with Sam called Moon.
Well, no, Sam Rockwell. No.
Sam Rockwell.
No, he didn't even mention that. But he went along the same lines as other people. It's like, well, no, of course they have. And I go, name one. And he's thinking. I was going. He goes, well, The Right Stuff. And I go, that's perfect. It was an astronaut recruitment movie. Never even left Earth orbit. Next, you know.
And Moon doesn't qualify either, but the title.
That was, in fact, the title of that movie is even more telling than anything else. Nobody trademarked Moon as a movie title until, what was that, 2008, 2009, something like that, or maybe even later. I didn't see it in the theater. I downloaded it, but Moon with Sam Rockwell, which is not about any space program. It's about, you know, clones. It was actually a brilliant movie. Sam Rockwell is an underrated actor.
Is he the new George Clooney for you?
No, but he's a hell of a dancer. I just watched him. I just watched him in a movie recently with Anna Kendrick called Mr. Right, where he kind of reprises his role. Do you remember the first Charlie's Angel movie?
Yes, I indeed do.
Cameron Diaz.
Yes, so that's the only one of the franchise, the movies that I saw, but I've seen every episode of the actual movie.
The original, yeah, okay. He played a bad guy in that movie, and I really he's very, very talented as an actor, I think. But anyway, sorry, Moon was never trademarked, but the other movie that people have quoted at me again, I just live for people to say this, like, oh, Apollo 18, the movie. I'm going, dude, there were only 17 missions. And, you know, then there's like, so, and I go, then what was 18? I go, 18 didn't even happen. Apollo 18, the movie was about little crab rock monsters that lived on the moon disguised as rocks. And so when the astronauts went there, they got eaten. That was what Apollo 18 was about. It wasn't a terrible movie, but
Let's switch topics and go to one more email. Somebody
Sure.
named Laura R., really, really cool person. I consider her a friend, actually,
Mhm.
sent me a long list of questions that she'd like me to address with you on this and other future secret shows. So I'm
Sure.
just going to go with one, and it'll be the quick answer. And this is directed to you. Now,
Okay.
this isn't directed to those of us people who do not believe that there's a dome, but this is just about the model that you believe is correct, which is the dome model. And just the short answer on this one. And then we'll go through some of her other questions. A very wonderful email, a long one that she sent.
Sure.
This is number one in future shows. What is the reason for having the dome on flat Earth? Are we the prisoners, or is it to protect us from something external? Go.
It's both. It could, well, it could be both. And that is the enclosure there to keep us out or to keep something out from getting in? Is it protect, are we a box of kittens that needs to be protected? Are we a box of scorpions that should not be allowed to run amok?
Or little crabs.
Or little crabs. Or little moon crabs, which I tend to believe the latter, because I think, every science fiction movie we've done, and look, watch the news, we are dangerous. You think even one of the early science fiction movies, brilliant movie, the original The Day the Earth Stood Still, not with Keanu Reeves, but the first one, talked about that where they said, look, you guys are not fit to roam the galaxy. And no, so I think it's to keep us in.
Let's see. I like your answer. And for people who, I'm not sure, dome, enclosure, force field, something that we can't put the words on, something is containing us and the water. This I do believe.
Yeah.
Has to be.
Yeah.
Has to be.
I mean, just take your pick. It could be one of a dozen different technologies to do it. But
truth is stranger than fiction. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Stranger than fiction is in our chats. MG24, I always say 24. Do I have dyslexia? But only for Pillbox's name. MG42 Pillbox is there. Lord Rollo, who got wrenched a little while ago by Actina Walker temporarily, because it's only temporary in this chat. No one's permanently ejected unless they're totally crazy. Comes back and says something interesting. Sam Rockwell has a great ass. Watch The Green Mile. Okay, Lord
right. Sam Rockwell was in The Green Mile. He was an interesting character in The Green Mile. He's been in a lot of stuff. I've really dug him. He was in Iron Man. He was in Band of Brothers. I'm a fan of Sam Rockwell.
So let's see. Issa Mahal is in here. Hello, Issa. DID says Moon was a great movie. And who else?
He should have been nominated for that movie.
You think?
Well, the movie was all him. Literally, it was a one-man movie, and it was.
And the crabs. One man and crabs.
No, that was Apollo 18.
Sorry.
Apollo 18 was the moon crabs.
I just had to say it.
Thanks.
Why? Iron Effie is here. Timothy Piat says outer space is water above the firmament. Felix I Am is in here. Byron Clown as well. Steve White. I'm not sure if he's trolling or not, but he says dummies, LOL. But that could be about something completely different, or about NASA. We'll just pretend it's about NASA. So on that, we agree with you. Well, I think we've come to the end of the road, my friend, for this show. Oh, there's Steve White. He is trolling. He's saying, where's the proof of flat Earth? Don't say Bible.
All right. No. No, again, no, it's a great thing to end on. And that is because you're going to hear this from people that are out there. Prove flat Earth. Show me the picture of the flat Earth. It's like, dude, you have no idea. You have to come back at them and say, prove it's a globe. That's what you come back. And then if you're feeling really daring, say, can you prove it's a globe without using NASA? Can you do it? Because that's where we're at. And look, the curvature of the Earth, 8 inches per mile squared, unless Bob comes up with something different. Tell me why we can see objects on the horizon, on water, which we shouldn't be able to. You say you cannot use Mirage every single time, because we've got, hundreds of videos now that are out there showing objects in the distance that should not be there. should not be there. The curvature of the earth means it's a hill, basically, and you can't see objects on the other side of a hill. We already know that. The curvature of the earth is much more shallow, but at a distance, you can't see it. So tell me how we are seeing these things. You keep coming back with mirage, you're just going to sound silly.
MG42 Pillbox says to Steve White, Steve, the burden of proof is on the one who has no proof, and that would be the Glober. So
let me end with this one thing before you sign off, which is everyone in the community knows this. Nobody started out waking up one morning saying flat earth is the greatest idea since sliced bread. Nobody. You're a little different. You accept it more quickly than others, but most people go out and say flat earth is stupid, flat earth is ridiculous. I should be able to disprove flat earth in a matter of minutes, if not hours, eventually. And we all start out that road, including me. I worked on this thing for months before I finally started building the clues, because I thought for sure I was wrong and I was missing something. And after you do it long enough, you realize you're not missing anything. And that's what I put out to everybody. And again, that's why the community's here. That's why we've got all these people listening, which is people start out trying to disprove flat earth. They can't do it. And then they realize that the globe is lost. And then once you do it, one last thing, which is why the retention rate is so high. If you're a debunker, you've got to ask yourself why there is almost nobody in the flat earth community who has turned against flat earth. It's not like we're pressuring them. It's not like it's a secret cult where you have to do a blood ritual. No offense to quasi-luminous.
There isn't?
Oh, happy cat. Aw.
This is Flynn.
It is because once you do it, it's kind of like Cypher in the first Matrix movie, where he realizes he wants to go back to the globe, or go back to Matrix. He goes, I don't want to remember anything. You hear me? Nothing. You put me back in. And that's what happens. Once you go flat, that's it. You're flat. You are not coming out of it.
Once you go flat, you can't go back.
Nope.
Sadly, that doesn't rhyme, but
we'll work on it.
I want to say hello to Flat Out Elected too, and I hope I've said hello to everybody that was in chat. And if not, hi, and thank you for being here. We've had a really good chat, a really good crowd. Some trouble in there, but hey, that's what happens sometimes when people get together in a group. Fights start breaking out, people crack bottles over tables, and blood is shed. But
shit.
No big deal. I do want to let everyone know that I'll be wrapping up George Orwell's 1984, which I will have read in its entirety, Saturday. So Saturday, 3 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Mountain, 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern, 11 Greenwich Mean Time, GMT. I don't know any other time zones.
I was about to say, you're going to do Zimbabwe next.
Those are the times I always generally do things. So that's when I'm going to wrap up 1984. And the next book will be Brave New World. So that's it. This has been cool. This has been fun. Thank you, Mark, for being here. And
thank you for having me.
Unfortunately, we didn't get a Melody sighting, but tell Melody.
Maybe next time.
All right, good. Well, until we meet again, once you go flat, you can't go back.
Nope.
And we both pretty much advise you to keep it flat.